Today we're going to take a closer look at Nvidia, one of my favorite semiconductor companies, and a closer look at their H100 and some updates from big cloud server providers like Amazon and Microsoft, which I do believe can be a nice bullish case for their overall AI demand. But it can also showcase how long it takes for certain of these products to kind of get finalized into these big cloud server providers. So if you are an AMD shareholder, you might want to see kind of the time lapse it takes for maybe their upcoming MI300 to finally be available to the general public. So let's take a closer look in today's episode. Right, so the first news I'm going to take a closer look at is the most recent. This came out August 7th of 2023, so yesterday, and it's between Nvidia and Microsoft. So we can see Nvidia's H100 Tensor Core GPU used on new Microsoft Azure virtual machine services now generally available. So obviously we can see that Microsoft clouding users can now turn to the latest Nvidia accelerated computing technology to train and deploy their generative AI applications. They do mention available today or yesterday the Microsoft Azure and the H100 V5 virtual machines using NVIDIA's H100 Tensor Core GPUs and NVIDIA's Quantum 2 infinite band networking, enabling scaling generative AI, high-performance computing, and other applications with a click from a browser is available to customers across the United States. And for some of you that might be familiar, you might be like, Jose, I thought Microsoft already was using the H100. I thought we already saw this earlier on. And that might be true. We kind of heard about it in March 13th of 2023. And this was more of a preview. This was the company kind of showcasing that they are introducing this ND-H100 version 5 virtual machine which enables on-demand in sizes ranging from 8 to 1,000 of NVIDIA H100 GPUs. But this was just a preview, right? They do mention that they are, at that day, March, they were just announcing it, and it was available for preview. So they were testing things out. Now, the news that came out on August 7th or yesterday is the kind of availability, at least in the United States. Obviously, we might start to see some of these availabilities go out into other markets. What I thought was pretty interesting as well is these are pretty much supercomputers, right? If you are a developer that needs to kind of use massive amounts of GPUs or the GPU clusters as we know them, you can actually do this thanks to NVIDIA's Quantum 2 CX Infinite Band, which allows seamless performance across GPUs at massive scale, matching the capabilities of top performing supercomputers globally. I do want to take a closer look at Microsoft. They did also have a update on this yesterday. They showcased a little bit more letters. They do mention as part of their deep and ongoing investments in generative AI, they are leveraging an AI optimized 4K GPU cluster. That's crazy, 4,000 GPU cluster, and will be ramping to hundreds of thousands of the latest GPUs in the next year. Obviously they mentioned it's available in certain parts here in the United States, but we can see how huge the demand is for NVIDIA's GPUs. They mentioned that right now this is for a super cluster of roughly 4,000 GPUs, and without the upcoming year, they will be ramping up to hundreds of thousands of GPUs. So I think this is pretty interesting, and again, it kind of just showcases how long the H100 came out in Q4 of 2022. We started to see previews of it in Q1 of 2023, right? The previews that we saw here. And we start to really see kind of some availability in certain kind of populated areas like East United States, South Central United States, now in Q2, or actually now it's kind of pushing into Q3 as we are in August, Q3 of 2023. So we can see how long it takes for this to kind of go into fruition from a chip to kind of creating, right? Because they need to create all these supercomputers. They need to make sure they work. They need to make sure everything's connected perfectly, and that takes time. And it kind of just showcases that we see AMD, if you are an AMD investor still here, we see AMD coming out with the MI300, right? So we know the MI300 is really expected to come out in Q4 of 2023, but we're going to see this ramp up. So even the first half of Q1 and Q2 of 2024 might be even weak for the MI300. We might not start to see maybe the full extent of some of that growth until maybe the second half of 2024, or maybe just like the ending of this first half, because how long it takes to validate and to kind of get these systems started up and then to start even more purchasing orders. So definitely, if you are an AMD shareholder and you're really excited about the MI300, I think it's very important to remain patient. Now, if you guys are still here, I just want to say thank you for the support. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subs by the end of the year. I just hit 27. I want to say thank you. If you haven't, make sure to hit the sub. If you want to learn more about the semiconductor market, I do have a membership where I do weekly videos on deep dives in certain semiconductor companies. Make sure to hit join. If you want a special offer to find out more about amazing stocks, check out my special offer at fool.com/Jose. And finally, if you just want a free newsletter about what I kind of talk about throughout the week, check out my newsletter at josenaharo.substack.com. So finally,
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so now the second clouding giant is the biggest clouding giant, AWS. So back in July 26th of 2023, so roughly 2 weeks ago, Nvidia's H100 GPUs are now available on AWS Cloud. They do mention that the new Amazon EC2 P5 instances uses Nvidia's latest accelerators to deliver industry-leading performance for generative AI and more. They do mention that the cloud giant officially switched on the new EC2 P5 instances powered by NVIDIA's H100 Tensor Core GPUs. Again, they do mention that these are great for obviously large language models in a lot of AI markets. They do mention that the P5 instances can be deployed in hyperscale clusters called EC2 Ultra clusters made up of high performance compute. They talk about even running up to 20,000 GPUs at one time. Here we see with P5 instances, machine learning applications can use the NVIDIA Collective Communication Library to employ as many as 20,000 H100 GPUs. So we can see these cloud server providers are buying this dramatically. And again, you might have been like, Jose, I thought we heard this about a few months ago. Sure, we might have heard about it in Q1 of 2023. But again, very similar to Microsoft, those were just previews, right? Those were just introductions that they will be coming in now in late of July. So the end of Q2, is it? Would that be? No, that would be June. So even starting in Q3, we're still starting to hear about these kind of finally going on into full production. So Amazon did mention a few things. They mentioned in March 2023 that they were partnering up with collaborations with Nvidia to bring these super scale computers to pretty much life. And they do mention one thing that I thought was pretty interesting is that AWS is using what they call their EC2 cluster, which now provides customers with low latency across up to 20,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs, and that is mainly because Amazon's FSx for Lustre fully managed shared storage built on the most popular high-performance parallel file system. So I want to say right now, Amazon definitely seems to be a little bit ahead because of the numerous kind of solutions that they have created from some of their software solutions, from some of their networking solutions, from some of their silicon solutions to kind of become a bigger player here in the AI space. We can see Amazon says they can easily kind of connect up to 20,000 GPUs. If we kind of take a step back from Microsoft, we see that Microsoft can only do roughly like 4K cluster GPUs at the moment, and they are expecting to grow that to maybe the few hundreds of thousands later next year. So for at the moment, it does seem like AWS and Amazon is definitely the leader in this space. The final clouding giant that we have is Google. Google actually hasn't announced that they are up for full production. We just saw on May 10th that they did announce the A3 supercomputer with NVIDIA H100 GPUs, purpose-built for AI. Pretty much very similar. It's just these supercomputers created. They do mention that this is just a preview waitlist for the A3. At the moment, we haven't heard that it has gone to like full production like we saw with Microsoft and with Amazon, but I do believe within the upcoming weeks, we are going to hear from Google that they are kind of going this for general public. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time, right? We kind of got a nice update on NVIDIA. We see the huge demand for their products. We also saw how long it takes for these to go into fruition. So if you are an AMD shareholder, you're going to need to be very patient with the MI300. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.